This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
Citigold is an account from a global bank with over 200 years experience, offering international banking expertise across over 100 markets. Your dedicated investment consultant adds a unique personal touch to your banking experience. Complimentary lifestyle offers like Marhaba service and free global money transfers help you save on time and money. At the core of Citigold is your dedicated relationship manager, personally looking after your financial needs. Be it lifestyle privileges like golf, lounge access across the Middle East, or worldwide privileges, Citigold provides you with a rewarding experience. One card is all you need for all your Citibank accounts. As a Citigold client, you benefit from our international expertise and global reach. Citigold is more than an account. It's a personal banking service offering exceptional privileges, customer service and recognition worldwide. So wherever you are, Citigold will be with you.
What's up guys, Lou here from Unbox Therapy, your tech and gadget expert, and today I'm checking out the 2015 Ford Fusion Hybrid Energy. This is the special Fusion. It's giving you that plug-in electric feature, so you can actually drive just on electric if you're taking a short trip, or you can use the electric then shift over to the gas. One of the standout features on this EV is actually the app that you can get as a partner for the vehicle itself. It'll tell you how much of a charge you have if somebody has unplugged your vehicle. You can also use the app to find recharge stations, just making your life a little bit easier. It'll even heat itself up in the morning before you wake up. Technology is not just about fun and games. This one also has a feature that will warn you if you're going to depart from your lane. So this is it, the cockpit, the captain's spot. Push button, we got a 12-speaker Sony stereo in here. Got the big touch screen, of course. You can add your phone, you got your Bluetooth hookup. A lot of the controls have migrated to the touch interface. Now, overall, I think this thing is outfitted very well with the technology features that I'd be looking for in a vehicle. So there you have it. We came, we saw, I unboxed the new 2015 Ford Fusion. Thank you very much for watching. Now I'm gonna figure out how I can take this baby out of here.
Mr. Gray, I just have a couple of questions. To what do you owe your success?
There's some people who say that I don't have a heart.
Why would they say that?
Because they know me well.
Why do I get the feeling that that is not true? You have to admit he's ridiculously hot.
If you are attracted to that sort of human,
The hot type of human?
I had a rough start in life. I don't do romance.
Could do what no one else can.
Welcome to my world. Mother, Anastasia Steele.
You have no idea how delighted I am to meet you.
You said you didn't do romance.
I don't. What are you doing to me? Where have you been?
Waiting.
Oh, no.
Rated R.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
We are living in times where there is an assault on sanity. Political correctness has run amok and logic has been left by the wayside. Do you constantly ask yourself, WTF is going on in this nation? Do you sometimes feel like a stranger in your own country? Well, fear not. You are not alone. This is the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Show, coming to you from deep inside flyover country with your hosts, V. Wright and Jose Estevez.
Welcome, everybody. It's What the F Wednesday. I'm V. Wright.
And I am Jose Estevez. Folks, we live in a world where liberals shouted that W. Bush was a fascist for 8 solid years. Yet none of these lame brains can deal with hearing that Mullah Obama hates the U.S. and grew up with communists. Isn't that something, how that works? Folks, we are coming to you live, unrehearsed, unscripted, and unpolitically correct. PG-13, but never PC. This is the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Radio Show, What the F Wednesday edition.
That's it. Goodness gracious alive. So what's going on, partner?
Well, isn't it interesting how that is? That liberals for 8 years called Bush a fascist, but when one single person, Rudy Giuliani, 7 years late to the party, mind you, questions if he loves the United States or not, they lose their minds if they even had them to begin with. A lot of them are born without minds. And, of course, the rest of them have been rotted away by liberalism, which, as we know, is a mental disorder. These people just sicken me. I don't know. But I've got a question for you, V, and for the listeners.
What's going on?
How come a hot dog at a basketball game tastes so doggone good? You know it is so bad for you, much less two. I don't know if this is true confessions or not, but why do they taste so good at a basketball game? I'm more interested in the hot dog than the basketball game.
Well, you know.
I don't know. I just a question. It might be rhetorical. There might be no answer, but that's all I'm going to ask. So, not a big fan of sports, but when my daughter's playing, I'm there as much as I possibly can. And, the hot dogs were really good tonight. There was dinner. Best $1.50 I ever spent.
I don't know. I mean, that's like going to the fair. I mean, you know that food is nasty, and you know it's so bad for you, but it is so good.
And where else in the world can you go to the store and buy a package of brats for probably $3 or $4, but go spend $5 on one at the fair? But I'll tell you what, it tastes good, and they glob on all those onions and peppers. All right, I gotta stop this now. I'm supposed to be losing weight, not. I walked into the stand, and you know it's bad, folks, when a complete stranger looks at you and said, "Boy, that's a heck of a dinner. A couple hot dogs, a bag of Doritos, and a Sprite." A complete stranger said, "That's a heck of a dinner." I'm like, "Yeah, nice to talk to you too." Shut up. I was already feeling guilty as it was, but anyway, there you go.
Whatever.
I had to get here to do the show. I didn't have any time. I had to eat. I had to, support the local boosters there at the school. Anyway.
Well,
I've got to justify it somehow.
Not that anybody cares what I made for dinner, but I made chicken fried rice. I just was in that mood.
Yummy. That sounds all right.
So, whatever. It was okay. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to cook.
It was no hot dog at a basketball game, but chicken fried rice.
One day I'll know how to make one of those basketball game hot dogs.
I can't do it. I can't duplicate them at home. I don't know what they do, but anyway, folks don't want to hear about basketball game hot dogs, I suspect. And I don't want anybody calling in and telling me what they're full of, because I know what they're full of. I don't care. They taste good. It'll filter out through my system somehow, I guess.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, senor, it's What the F Wednesday.
Yes, I can't hear you anymore, but it is indeed that. I believe it is What the F Wednesday, folks. And if you're new to the show, welcome to the show. You picked a great night to tune in. Wednesdays, we do things a little bit differently. We try to go rapid fire at you with lots of news stories that you might not have even heard of, and put a little spin on them, try to make some fun. We try to laugh a lot, keep the energy up, because God, folks, if you've looked at the news in the last 48 hours, It's just, I don't know how much more they can keep piling on. And indeed, that's what they're doing intentionally, to overwhelm the system and to keep ramming through this fundamental transformation, ramming it right up our collective keisters. The news on Drudge today. FCC chair refuses to appear before Congress ahead of the internet takeover. Tomorrow, folks. Tomorrow, potentially everything that you've known about using the internet and how it's been, how it works, could potentially change. And the chairman of the FCC, who's a Democrat, refuses to go to Congress to talk about it, much less let anybody read one iota of the 332 pages. Now, have you guys ever heard of tarring and feathering? Can we pull this guy out of the FCC by his hair and tar and feather him? I'm just asking, folks. I don't know. What do we do to people like this that are so full of themselves and not accountable to anybody that they can have a vote on something potentially affecting all Americans and indeed the whole world, a 332-page document, and not be accountable for it, to tell us one thing that's in it? Remember the last time that happened was called Obamacare, and they had to pass it to find out what's in it. Well, we're still all getting bent over on Obamacare, and we'll continue to do so for generation after generation. We still don't know everything that's going on with that, and they're still hiding from a lot of the things as they come out because they're negatively impacting people. The FCC chair refuses to appear before Congress. I'll tell you what, I think you could have a sergeant-at-arms or somebody arrest him, put him in leg shackles, put him in handcuffs, and bring him to Congress. I would imagine Congress has some sort of authority like that if they ask somebody to come and tell them, we need to know what you're voting on before you vote on it. This is America, for God's sake, isn't it? Is it still America? I think it's still America.
I said this last night, and I will reiterate it tonight, and I went off about it after the show last night, and that is the federal government is completely out of control. They have surpassed our ability to reel them back in. If folks want to get anything done and have any hope of salvaging a government in the United States that is not communist, they will have to do so at their state level. That is just the way it is. I am so angry about this. I've been angry about this for days, ever since they started pushing to go forward with this net neutrality and refusing to release the 332 pages for review. If they're going to make a public utility out of it, it should at least go before the public for comment, and for it to clearly state on the outside of that report, non-public, ticks me absolutely off. There is nothing in our government outside of what affects national security that should ever be beyond public scrutiny. Nothing
whatsoever. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
However, a lot of things occur like this. I mean, Harry Reid and both parties did so with their ability to hide their personal involvement in insider trading, which is exactly what it is. It's illegal, but they've passed laws to hide it. With this, it's an opportunity to hide the fact that it's a basic takeover. This goes much further than anyone realizes too. We just sit here and we focus on the fact that, the three words that I've used, and that is regulation, limitation, taxation, and what was the other one that I had? I don't even remember. You had those written down.
Yeah, that was a day ago though, so that's...
Yeah.
Sorry. Regulation, limitation, taxation. There we go.
Well, I'm going to take you next time I see you and push you down in the mud. Y'all have to understand how comical that is, because I'm all of 5'3" and he's like 6'4".
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
Anyway, it goes on. It goes so much deeper than this, in that there are concerns. Not only in even there is a Democrat on the FCC that is kind of on the fence right now about how she's going to vote tomorrow, because she has concerns that this new regulation goes too far. Mm-hmm. And when you have a Democrat publicly saying, I'm really thinking about this because it might go too far, folks, you should be really concerned.
Right.
But the availability to just limit, one of the things that they're talking about is making the internet more fair. All of this started, we need regulation for the internet because of security issues, because so many people were getting their information stolen online. People were hacking into their personal accounts. You remember the Sony incident, which I am not so certain that was not created by our own government, for the purpose of pushing forward net neutrality. Let's stop and think about this, guys. Every time there's a major event, it ends up being nothing, much like Sandy Hook. Yet our government jumps on board, full steam ahead. Let's not stop and think about it. Let's not look at it in a rational manner. Let's not consider that there are, how many people? 3 trillion people on the internet?
I would imagine.
And less than 1% are having issues?
Mm-hmm.
But let's not look at the private industry that we have companies that if you're going to do commerce or you're going to do trade on the internet, you can use companies like LifeLock and there are many others. But all of that's irrelevant. We need the government to step in and just go full force with all this on an emotional basis and sell it. And that's how they want us to perceive it. But I'm going to tell you how I see it. We're going to create this scenario because every time the American public sees a threat or encounters a threat or a possible threat, they will hand us over anything we want. So every time there is a potential threat, or every time there is some BS situation, the government takes the opportunity, if they did not create the situation, they take the opportunity to grab hold of more of your liberties, more control into your daily life, more control into your household, your family, your children, whatever it is. They are on a power grab, much in the same fashion that they're on a land grab.
V, I got to say a couple things. First of all, come on. You know better than to say BS on the radio. We just got a memo from the Home Office, and you're to refer to it now as Bull Obama, okay?
Oh, that's right.
The culturally acceptable thing now. So instead of saying BS, we say Bull Obama. Also, come on, V, you know doggone well it's North Korea doing all this stuff with their computers that are probably on dial-up still to AOL.com. I mean, really, folks, this regime is so full of crap, it's not even funny. Now they're saying that left groups are even fearing that the government is going to grab too far. And guess what, folks? The plan could lead to a UN takeover of the internet. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. If the UN takes over the internet, the UN is located in New York City. And I think that's all I'm going to say, folks, that a couple 100,000 patriots? I mean,
well,
there is 100,000. Maybe we could get, 20, 40?
But the fact of the matter is that is a viable concern. Because we've been having China and Russia since the inception of Al Gore's interweb. We have had China and Russia clamoring to have been a part of it, to have some say in it, to have some concerns over it. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that is a concern is under Title II of the Communication Act. That is a viable concern that they will petition the UN and go under the UN Communications Act to force the hands of the United States to allow them to have filtering, etc., to be able to promote propaganda or limit access right here in the good old United States of America. Mm-hmm. And I want to mention to you guys one of the things that that this report that has leaked out, the SEC will evaluate harm, quote-unquote harm, based on consideration of 7 factors. Impact on competition. Think about that. Impact on competition. Impact on innovation. Impact on free expression. And then it goes on to say impact on broadband deployment and investment.
Mm-hmm. So, folks, when you wake up tomorrow morning, Thursday, February 26, 2015, it won't change immediately, but if they vote and they pass this stuff, we won't even know what's in it until after they pass it. But I can assure you, folks, that the money behind it ought to tell you right what's going to happen. Potential UN involvement, Soros cash. If you don't know who Soros is, I'm not going to bother explaining it to you. You should know by now. And
$196 million. I don't know how many of you guys have $196 million just laying around to donate to something. Not even to a campaign or anything like that, but just $196,000. You know, I'd really like to get behind this cause. George Soros has invested $196,000
ought to tell you something.
Into the promotion of net neutrality.
That ought to tell you something, folks. He is a bad person, evil person. And when you've got an FCC commissioner that refuses to go before Congress, you've got a lawless regime, folks. You have a lawless regime. You are in a post-constitutional United States of America. Laws do not matter anymore. They are merely suggestions, especially if you're illegal. If you're here legally, of course, you're bound to follow all the laws. Otherwise, you're facing jail, prison time, whatever penalties there may be. But I'm telling you what, folks, here's some news. Talk about What the F Wednesday, and we got to get this thing rolling. IRS Lois Lerner received $129,000 in bonus alone, folks. What the F? $129,000 in bonuses. Now, remember what we said last night. Almost 17% of federal employees make more than $200,000 a year. So yeah, it's real lucrative, isn't it? I'm sure they're all doing it, because they love their country. And of course, you notice how nobody ever says public servant anymore that works in the government refers to themselves as a public servant, because they're not. There's nothing about public servants in any branch of government at any point anymore. And I've got another thing to say. We're talking about what's going on in the Congress. How come the Republicans won overwhelmingly in November, the House and the Senate, yet right now, by every news story that I have seen in the last couple of days, Harry Reid, who is the minority leader, the Democrat, the minority leader, Harry Reid is in control. He has actually got B.I.H. McCon man from Kentucky flim-flammed, and he's got McCon man so flim-flammed that he's also saying they're not gonna approve any of this stuff unless Boehner, Orange Boy, the orange alcoholic, unless he gives in too. How much power can we give these people when the Republicans are in control? This is sickening to me, folks. Sickening. How can the detestable senator from the state of Nevada, how can he have so much authority when he is the minority leader? Does this make any sense to you at all? Think about it, folks. I'm going to tell you what. It's because of the outright incompetence and fecklessness of these Republicans that they are letting Harry Reid be the de facto leader in control of the Senate. It is disgusting. These Republican alpha hotels are snatching defeat from what should be the jaws of victory, and it just sickens me to my core that we are allowing it to happen. And this week now, hold on. Now everybody's talking about, we've got CPAC. Started today, I believe. Stands for conservative. Okay, the first letter, C, stands for Conservative Political Action Conference. Guess what, folks? CPAC this year is going to feature Jeb Bush trolling to prove how conservative he isn't. How conservative he is. So I guess this year we can just simply refer to it as PAC and eliminate the C, because we see exactly what the Republicans are doing. They talk a good game, but they do absolutely nothing. They are spineless, they are wimps, they are nothing. And they are worse than the Democrats, because at least you expect it from the Democrats. They are despicable.
What the F?
What the F, indeed. I'm sick of it. These people...
You know how I've been raging. I mean, I am anti-federal government right now, and I know that puts me on yet another hit list. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't really care. I don't really care. I am so over it. I cannot hardly stand it. It is everything I can do to contain the anger that I feel at the federal government being completely beyond reach, and knowing that the mass majority of people are going to keep making calls to the federal government, are going to keep petitioning the federal government, are going to keep complaining about the federal government instead of getting off their butt and going to their state legislator, their capital, and saying en masse, we want it stopped now.
Nobody. There is not a single soul in Washington, D.C. that's going to do the right thing. Not a single one.
There is not. I get the information from Trey Gowdy's office, and of course, my message back today was, that they're having the hearings on whether or not, or was that today or yesterday? Whatever. Anyway, whether or not Hussein's actions were unconstitutional. And I sent him a message back. I said, we know it's unconstitutional, so this will be over today and we'll see him in handcuffs tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Of course not.
Of course not. You're never going to see one member of this regime held accountable. Not
you will hold these hearings for a month or more. What happened with those last hearings that you were supposed to be in on? That we were getting updates on? Did they just go away? Oh, what's going on in Benghazi again? When was Hillary coming back? What's in those new emails? What the F?
I'm gonna tell you right now. This whole thing with McCon man from Kentucky giving in to Harry Reid and let Harry Reid being the de facto leader of the Senate. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, this is all over that DHS funding. The Republicans have said they will do it in two separate bills. There will be DHS funding, which they're more than willing to do, but then they will not fund anything related to the illegal amnesty. So Harry Reid is standing strong, saying, no, we get them both or we don't get anything. And guess what? He's winning right now. You know what, folks? Why does DHS need more money? One of you out there, name one single thing that they've stopped or prevented since their inception, and I'll say, okay, they deserve their funding. You know how much DHS spent on furniture for their agency alone last year? Take that, folks. Just released report shows DHS spent $150 million last year on furniture for their agency alone. $150 million. Now, do you want to know what else happened last night, folks? You're not going to believe this, but it's been on all the other shows, and we talked about it briefly. Got a little hint of it last night. I'm going to tell you right now. KISS, more jobs, goodbye to foreigners. Under the radar in regards to immigration, your wonderful regime, the communist regime of Hussein Obama I, late Tuesday changed a rule that barred spouses of foreigners who are working here on an H-1B visa from working in the United States. Now the spouses themselves can apply for green cards and Social Security cards to take jobs away from Americans. And guess what, folks? They can also vote. That happened last night. If you don't believe me, look it up. Rush talked about it. It is true. It happened in the middle of the night last night. From your wonderful regime, you are losing your country minute by minute. You are losing your country, and what you've lost, you will never get back. So you sit there and you watch your sports, and you sit there and enjoy all your fun stuff, because your kids are not going to know a country that we grew up under if you're my age or older. It will not be there anymore. They are changing everything, and they are getting away with it. There is not one honorable person that will stop them. Not a single person will stop them.
Well, and nobody cares, too. I mean, they're so worried about protecting their next vote, about protecting whatever is, whatever is covered to cover their butts. They are not concerned on whether or not people are doing the right thing. They're not concerned on what's doing. And we are seeing power of the pen. We are not seeing legislation. We are not seeing a constitution. We are not seeing law abiding. We are seeing power of the pen. And folks, if that's not tyranny, there is no such thing.
Oh, it's tyranny, folks, and you're right deep in the middle of it. We've got to take a break. When we come back, we will continue, and we'll try to lighten up a little bit. Sorry to be such a bummer. But, folks, this is really happening. This is really happening to our country. This is happening to us. And it's very fluid right now. This FCC thing is tomorrow. Many of us are very upset about it. If you'd like to call the show with your moments, WTF moments from the last week, we'd love to hear from you, as always. 313-462-0068 will get you on the show with us. And I promise, and I don't promise very often, but I promise V and I will dial it down a little bit, and we'll put on our happy faces and our goofy faces.
I don't know why he's promising for me, because y'all know I ain't going to pay him. No, never mind.
And try to make you laugh for the rest of the show, or at least a great portion thereof. We got to take a break. We will be right back.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
Over the next 40 years, the United States population is going to grow by over 90 million people, and almost all that growth is going to be in cities. What's the healthiest and best way for them to grow so that they really become cauldrons of prosperity and cities of opportunity? What we have found is that if that family is moved into safe, green, affordable housing, places that have access to great school systems, access to jobs, and multiple transportation modes, then the neighborhood begins to thrive and really, really take off. The oxygen of community redevelopment is financing. And all this rebuilding that happened could not have happened without organizations like Citi.
One of the things that we really try to do is to collaborate with people like Jonathan Rose, who are really like-minded and really can also provide innovative solutions to social issues.
And Citi has formed a partnership with our company so that we can take all the lessons from the revitalization of urban America to other cities. So we're now working in Chicago and in Washington, D.C., and Newark.
It's branching off of Jonathan's expertise and the fact that he has done so many wonderful affordable housing projects, new development and rehabilitation work. And so we were really seeing that there was a need for his skill in areas even outside of New York.
It's amazing how important safe, affordable housing is to the future of our society.
You meet new people, they want to know what you do. And when you tell them your job is to invest in things like low-income housing and schools and healthcare, they're shocked and they're so surprised that a job like this exists in finance. They always say that they had no idea, and then they want to know how they can get a job like that.
It's not about how many miles you can get out of the C-Max Hybrid. It's about how much life you can fit into it. The Ford C-Max Hybrid, with an EPA estimated range of 540 miles on a tank of gas, and all the room you need to enjoy the trip. Go stretch out. Go further. The most amazing thing about the Ford Fusion isn't the way it looks. The most amazing thing is the way it sees. With blind spot technology, a lane-keeping system, and a standard rear-view camera, the Fusion is ready for whatever comes your way. Go prepared. Go further.
Mr. Gray, I just have a couple of questions. To what do you owe your success?
There's some people who say that I don't have a heart.
Why would they say that?
Because they know me well.
Why do I get the feeling that that is not true?
You have to admit he's ridiculously hot.
If you are attracted to that sort of human,
the hot type of human,
I had a rough start in life. I don't do romance.
Could do what no one else can.
Welcome to my world. Mother, Anastasia Steele.
You have no idea how delighted I am to meet you.
You said you didn't do romance.
I don't. What are you doing to me?
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Welcome back, everybody. It's What the F Wednesday here, and I'm V. Wright.
And I'm Jose Estevez. Welcome to the show. If this is your first show, we are glad you're joining us. We think you'll like what you hear. And we are live with you Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern on the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot radio show. Yeah, you know what that means. You can spell out the words. It's phonetics. It's the military garb or garble. We are always unrehearsed, unscripted, unpolitically correct. We say we're PG-13, but we will never be PC. Folks, let's talk about Jeb Bush for a minute. What the F, indeed. We don't need any more Bushes, okay? We had the old man. We had W. Done with the Bushes. Now listen to what Jeb had to say, though, folks. Because, you got to hear it from their own mouths, because they tend to screw themselves pretty good that way. Here's what Jeb said. Here's some quotes. And this is about illegal immigrants. They're more entrepreneurial. They set up more business. They buy more homes. They're more family-oriented. They work in jobs that in many cases are jobs that have gone unfilled. Folks, this is him comparing illegal immigrant invaders to American citizens. He said, further he says, I think Detroit would do real well if we started repopulating it with young, aspirational people. Yes, because they aspire to come here and do a lot when they can't even speak or they can't even read and write in their own language, much less coming to the United States. They're very aspirational. Here's another quote. We have people that mope around thinking, my life is bad. My children will not have the same opportunities that I had. Well, gee, really? He further goes on to say, what a horrible notion in America, the most optimistic of places, and I think an economically driven immigration plan would lift our spirits up dramatically. I can only say one or two more before the Bull Obama gets too deep for me to walk in.
What the F? I can't let you say anything else without saying this. It's going to lift our spirits. More Americans either not employed, people who were born here, whose families have provided the very basis for which these invaders are going to live off of and get their $20,000 tax return. And that's going to lift our spirits. That's going to lift our being unemployed. Lifts somebody's spirits. Those that are working, paying another 20 to 30% in taxes, in federal taxes. That's going to lift our spirits. No, I'm going to tell you, Jeb. I'm going to tell you what'll lift my spirits. Put them on a plane, ship their asses out. That'll lift my spirits.
Hey, can I go on record and really tick people off and say, how about Operation Wetback 2, and before you jump the gun and say he's a racist, go look it up, folks. Go look up Operation Wetback, I think it was in the 50s. Go look up what that was all about. I know, oh my God, Jose said wetback. Oh my God, he's a racist.
The senor said wetback. Guys, if y'all want to hear, if you guys really want to, you want to really hear me go racist and hear Jose go racist, I am trying to talk him into changing his name to Jesus. Jesus. If you guys think that's a good idea, let us know.
My other cousin is Slowpoke Rodriguez. I think I have one called Speedy too. Speedy Gonzalez.
Andre.
Arriba. Epa. Okay, well, now that we've really gone overboard, here's Jeb Bush in his own words, folks. Jeb Bush, who, of course, is a Democrat, tried and true. The one way that we can rebuild the demographic pyramid is to fix a broken immigration system. I'll agree with him, it's broken. But he says if we do this, we will rebuild our country in a way that will allow us to grow. If we don't do it, we will be in decline because the productivity of this country is dependent on young people that are equipped to be able to work hard. He further goes on in the same sentence. Immigrants create far more businesses than native-born Americans over the last 20 years. Now listen to this. Immigrants are more fertile I guess that means they recreate like rabbits. And they love families, and they have more intact families. What the F, Jeb Bush? I mean, really? Why don't you just run as a Democrat? But here he is going to be at the CPAC, which once again, like I said at the beginning of the show, stands for Conservative Political Action Conference. So I believe this year it's just going to be called the PAC, because they've got Jeb Bush there, and Jeb Bush is so far removed from a Republican, much less a conservative, that it's ludicrous to even try to draw any comparisons, real or otherwise. What is wrong with this guy?
You know what, Senor? We were supposed to be there this year.
People legally immigrating. My grandparents on my father's side were first-generation immigrants, but they did it legally. And guess what? They came here to assimilate. They came here to add to America, not to take from America. They came over legally, folks. How many people are in the pipeline right now? And I'll admit, there's probably issues with it. But so we just say that if you came over here illegally, that it's okay? So where does that stop? Where all of a sudden do we draw a line? And where do we say that, okay, we're done now? So discriminating against all the people that came here legally, much less all the people that are here trying to do it the legal way, going through the steps, paying the money, taking the classes, doing whatever they have to do, jumping through all the steps, the hurdles to become an American citizen. What the heck of a slap in the face that is to people like that are trying to do it the right way.
Well, absolutely. Jeb Bush, being the representation and one of the keynote speakers at CPAC, is the most. It makes me glad I'm not there this year. It really does make me glad I'm not there this year, because it is a joke. It is laughable, and I could not, given what is going on in D.C., I could not go there and pretend to dance around these folks. I just couldn't do it.
Nope. They're all
I would probably be physically removed, because unlike a lot of folks out there that will go to an event like that and play nice, I would be hard-hitting and I would be stating the facts. I would not be dancing around it. And folks, don't think for a minute they would be very happy to see me. I would probably be removed, not because I got vulgar, not because I got irate or anything else, but because I made them that uncomfortable with the truth.
Very well said.
We have a caller. We have Brian McDavid on the line. Brian!
How are y'all doing?
Doing fine, my friend from Louisiana. Yeah, what's going on, man? What's your what the F?
Oh, we got all types of stuff trying to take off around here. I just got home from work. The weather around here in Louisiana is kind of cold and wet. And, we're not used to anything that looks like white coming down from the sky. So
that's racist.
Wait a minute, that's racist. Wait a minute, that's racist. It's got to be. We need an equal balance of volcanic ash so that we have black falling from the sky too.
Right? I'm just saying, because we could have a natural disaster if somebody in Louisiana leaves their freezer open. we were ready to shut down this whole state because it might snow.
Well, yeah, I mean, although I can look out my window and see 2 or 3 feet of the stuff on the ground.
Well, it already melted over here, and it had a few flurries fall from the sky, and then in Baton Rouge it just hit the ground and melted away.
Oh, lucky you guys.
So I didn't get to see the pretty part.
Now, wait a minute, Brian. Do y'all do what we do over here in the great state of Georgia? A few years ago, we had some snow come through, and it really messed people up because we had folks in Atlanta that actually believed that people would be able to utilize common sense. Well, they proved that they were incapable of doing that. And so the next year we got a threat of snow. And so the whole city shut down. The whole state shut down for 3 days. Schools in the whole state, no, can't take a chance that the people, we already know that they don't utilize common sense, so we're just going to shut it all down.
I hope that nobody's still expecting for people to start using it.
Oh, well, absolutely not.
Because, you could tell the way our country's going, that common sense ain't that common anymore.
Amen. Well said. Hear, very much.
Look at our country. Our country, you have our president. You have a president that hates our country.
Yes, he does.
Very true.
He hates our country, and he loves our enemies. And then the true enemies that are threatening our home, our country, and the way that we like to live and our life. he won't tell the public who our enemies are.
Because that's a self-identification. That is a self-identification. He identifies with those people. Therefore, he does not want that finger directed at him. He spent 20 years in a church with people that did not love this country. I mean, they just did not love this country. And that was the only way that he was able to stomach a Christian church, is because it was a church that had absolutely not a drop of Christianity running through it from the leadership.
It sure did not. And what was the reverend's name?
Jeremiah Wright. That was.
But yeah, I watched some of his sermons, off of YouTube. He should be deported and sent to Iraq.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I saw a clip from Twitter where a girl says, I really hate this country. I hate this country. Now, of course, she had already identified herself as being an Islamic, and I really hate this country. And
there's enough desert and goats in the Middle East for them to go back to the country that they like.
That's it. Just go. Just go. I mean, I go back to when Sean Penn and frickin' that flake, Madonna and all the rest of them, Barbara Streisand, and all the rest of them were saying, well, if George Bush gets elected, I'm leaving the United States. So why am I still hearing your voice? Shut up and go.
Why didn't they leave?
Just go, turn in your citizenship and leave. I don't care.
And, exactly. Didn't what was it last night they arrested 3 in New York for trying to go over there?
Yes, they did. Last night during our show, they sure did.
What is with these people? I have yet to see a video of anything in the Middle East that makes me want to go over there and go see.
Well, they've estimated that approximately 30 out of Twin Cities, they're in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, they've estimated that 30 have jumped on planes to go fight with ISIS. I say leave them there. Cut up their cards. No, they cannot come back. You wanted to be there? Stay there.
Let them go. And they can't come back. Then we ain't
that's it.
You
are permanently barred and banned from re-entry into the United States of America. Period.
But even if we said that, that really wouldn't do no good, because we have a president that will just say it don't matter, let them back in.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. Even if they did it, it wouldn't matter. They'd just fly into Mexico and walk across the border.
Right.
Exactly. Then they will be legal illegal aliens.
Oh Lord. Then we'd have a real problem. Oh, good gracious! He has just made an absolute disaster. There is not a day that goes by that I do not spend at least 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes with my head spinning around like Linda Blair. I'm only missing the pea soup.
If anything's going to change, and you said it earlier, me and you were talking, if anything's going to change, it has to be done at the state level.
That's the only shot we've got.
Yeah, that's what's going to have to be. And, the Patriots have to wake up, and America needs to take America back.
Well, I don't know that we have the people to do it. I don't know that people will actually engage their state. I think a lot of people think that there's really nothing that they can do, and then there are a lot of people out there that are devoted to the concept of changing it from the federal government, and they do not understand that there is more power in your state than there is in the federal government, and you're not going to change.
Wasn't there a whole war fought over that, D?
There was indeed. There was
indeed. I thought it was like the Civil War or something like that, but I don't know. I'm just from the South,
Yeah, well,
I don't know nothing. We didn't win.
The first time, anyway.
Yeah, well, there might be another one coming around.
Anything's possible, my friend. Anything's possible.
Exactly.
Well, I can tell you this, if there was another one, I know a lot of folks from up north that would be relocating to the south.
Well, if there was another one, you would never have to worry about me ever trying to go up north. I love the South.
Hey, I do too. I love the South too. I'm going to tell you, all this global warming has gotten me more and more inclined to enjoy my Southern heritage.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys get global warming. It's not quite as bad as we get global warming.
No, and I'm glad that you said that, Vic, because I saw earlier today, I was flipping through Facebook, and somebody said it, and it was the best thing I've seen all day. It said, liberals worry about global warming for 5 years down the road, that the water levels in the ocean might rise 5 feet. But they could care less about the enemy at your door that is telling you that they're going to kill Christians. But they're worried about global warming. And are killing them.
Absolutely.
On a daily basis in the Middle East by the hundreds.
In public streets. Not off in the back alley. No, in the middle of the street.
Right. Oh, this is out in the open. It's not in hiding over there.
No, and then Iran playing war games with mock U.S. ships out there. I mean, this is getting crazy.
Oh yeah, folks, y'all want to what the F? Yesterday, we get a notification that the negotiations have moved forward with Iran to grant them, over time, nuclear bombs. This, of course, at the same time that we're getting information that they've been developing them for the last 5 years. And how do they do it? They decide that they're going to test missiles on mock replica U.S. aircraft carriers. What the F?
Yep. That's our friends in Iran for you.
Yeah, and so to me, that's basically saying, they're practicing to deal with us. So we just need to go ahead and handle that before it even comes up.
But we don't have leadership that's going to do that. We have leadership that is quite content to sit back and arm our enemy and aid and abet our enemy and sit back and wait for them. As a matter of fact, I am not certain that he is not provoking and prodding them to move forward in an attack against us, so that he has, it goes back to what we started this show with. If you can create a scenario in which people feel threatened, they will hand over their freedoms willingly. You do not have to take them.
Darn right they will.
And that's exactly what he's going for.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel almost certain that he is provoking, prodding, and aiding and abetting them all in the same token, so that he can sit back when they act and say, okay, now I'm an emperor.
It's certainly not outside the realm of possibility at this point.
No, it's not. And I'm very surprised that you even said that we even had a leader up there, because I don't think we have any.
Well, it's a false leader. I mean, it's an illusion. Whatever. He's got the title. He does not have the classification or the class. Period.
Well, no.
No, sure don't. No, and it's just blowing my mind. This is supposed to be the world's greatest country ever. This is the greatest country in the world. And we have a president that is scared.
No, he's not. I don't believe he's scared. I don't believe he's scared.
I'll beg to differ on that one.
I don't believe he's scared.
I don't know if it's I'll probably use it wrong. I don't know if he's scared. I still think he's related to him, but we have a president that wants our country to crumble. Inside and out.
He wants it to be different than the way it was formed. You're correct about, definitely.
His idea of fundamental transformation means that we are weaker than the rest of the world. He has said that since day one of his campaign. He has talked about fundamental transformation. When he got his first time, he ran around and apologized and bowed and kissed the butts of and feet and rings and everything else of everybody else in the world. He went to France, he went to Germany, and told those people that we are pompous and full of ourselves, that we are too proud, and that we have no right to be. He has put us down and snuffed us out like an old cigarette to the entire world, and people voted for him again. So what does that say about the idiots out there? They want to be enslaved and don't have sense enough to know what they're asking for.
At least half of America wants to be taken care of. And so just the same kind of mentality as a lot of those people that are in prison. Because at least then, and it sounds strange, but it's true, a lot of them cannot make it otherwise. They're taken care of. They've got their cliques and stuff like that. They can survive. And it's
how I get in one of those cliques?
I don't want to be in one of those cliques. I do not want to be in one of those cliques. I don't.
They don't have to pay for anything.
I don't want to be in one of those cliques. I don't want to be in one of those cliques. I want to see all of those things fall. I want to see those people, the looks on their faces when all of this crap collapses, and it will.
It has to. It can't keep going like this.
It is unsustainable. Therefore, it will. And when they're scrambling and realizing, oh, crap, how am I going to eat? How am I going to put gas in my car? How am I going to keep a roof over my head? How am I going to now pay the full electric bill, the full water bill, the full cable bill? How am I going to
do that?
How am I going to maintain communications with people without my Obama phone?
Oh, goodness.
I
Talk about
cannot
The Walking
wait.
Dead being reenacted in real life.
It is going to go off the chain. These people are going to go off the chain, and the rest of us better be prepared for it.
It'll get ugly very, very quickly.
Oh yeah, but you think about it, it's going to have to come to that. And
there's no choice.
But it's anytime, like every time I think that our country might be taking a step to the top, in the right direction. Like we approved the Keystone Pipeline. Well, and two-thirds of America wanted the Keystone Pipeline. But apparently, that other third is the one that's in the White House. But that's the one who vetoed it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you know what? You know what nobody has said? Nobody has said what the numbers are. And during the break, I'm going to check what that vote was in the Senate to see if they had the necessary votes to... Senor, can you check that for me? And see if they had the necessary votes to override the veto. Because I notice we're not hearing a word about representing it and overriding the veto. They're not bringing it up. They're not even discussing, oh man, if we go forward and we can get 3 more people on board with us, we can override the veto. Now, so many Democrats out there ran on the principle that they would stand behind the veto. Right there, was it your state? Louisiana?
Probably.
That your Democrat was saying, well, if you reelect me in the runoffs, I'm pro-Keystone.
Oh, yeah, that was Mary Landrieu.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. So we had a lot of Democrats jumping on that bandwagon trying to save themselves. And
but you can't believe anything that she's going to say because she done changed her story so many times. The only job she's ever had was been in Washington.
Well, I agree with that, but the fact of the matter is, if they've got to be pointed out that this was a single item bill, just the Keystone, and you sat here and you ran and you held on to your position on the basis of Keystone and you didn't vote for it, buddy, I'd be waving that all over your district.
You know what? But she didn't win.
No, she didn't. I'm just talking about nationwide.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. That's what I don't understand. Like, I saw where 2/3 of America agreed with it.
Absolutely.
And we live in a democracy, so I thought, majority of it wanted something. We get it. Mm-hmm. And that's how it's supposed to work.
That is how it's supposed to work, but however, that is not the way it works anymore. Like I said, federal system is broken and beyond our reach.
Yep.
Okay, V, I've got it for you.
What you got?
On the Keystone XL pipeline, Senate approved it despite the veto threat. This story is dated January 29. They're saying 9 Democrats joined a unanimous Republican caucus to support the bill. The final tally was 62 to 36, short of the 67 votes needed to override a presidential veto. Interestingly enough, folks, 2 people didn't vote. That was Senate Minority Leader from Nevada, Whorehouse Harry Reid, and oh boy, some people's favorite, Marco Rubio, would not vote on it. Interesting, huh? Couldn't be bothered to vote for that. So 62 to 36.
So we had the
they cannot
potential.
override a veto, and of course we're hearing nothing else about it. So it's a done deal. He wins again.
Well,
Yeah,
but if they brought it back, and they, we forced the hand of Rubio, we brought it back. You're only talking about needing 4 more Democrats to go on board, and they override the veto, and nobody is saying a word. And of course, nobody is sitting here screaming at the top of their lungs, "Where the hell was Rubio?"
Yeah, exactly.
That future presidential elect.
Presidential.
Whatever.
Hey, we got to take a break too, V.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you calling in, baby. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for having me. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good evening.
You too, darling.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, we've got to take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
Over the next 40 years, the United States population is going to grow by over 90 million people, and almost all that growth is going to be in cities. What's the healthiest and best way for them to grow so that they really become cauldrons of prosperity and cities of opportunity? What we have found is that if that family is moved into safe, green, affordable housing, places that have access to great school systems, access to jobs, and multiple transportation modes, then the neighborhood begins to thrive and really, really take off. The oxygen of community redevelopment is financing. And all this rebuilding that happened could not have happened without organizations like Citi.
One of the things that we really try to do is to collaborate with people like Jonathan Rose, who are really like-minded and really can also provide innovative solutions to social issues.
And Citi has formed a partnership with our company so that we can take all the lessons from the revitalization of urban America to other cities. So we're now working in Chicago and in Washington, D.C., and Newark.
It's branching off of Jonathan's expertise and the fact that he has done so many wonderful affordable housing projects, new development and rehabilitation work. And so we were really seeing that there was a need for his skill in areas even outside of New York.
It's amazing how important safe, affordable housing is to the future of our society.
You meet new people, they want to know what you do. And when you tell them your job is to invest in things like low-income housing and schools and healthcare, they're shocked and they're so surprised that a job like this exists in finance. They always say that they had no idea, and then they want to know how they can get a job like that.
What's up, guys? Lou here from Unbox Therapy, your tech and gadget expert, and today I'm checking out the 2015 Ford Fusion Hybrid Energy. This is the special Fusion. It's giving you that plug-in electric feature, so you can actually drive just on electric if you're taking a short trip, or you can use the electric, then shift over to the gas. One of the standout features on this EV is actually the app that you can get as a partner for the vehicle itself. It'll tell you how much of a charge you have if somebody has unplugged your vehicle. You can also use the app to find recharge stations, just making your life a little bit easier. It'll even heat itself up in the morning before you wake up. Technology is not just about fun and games. This one also has a feature that will warn you if you're going to depart from your lane. So this is it, the cockpit, the captain's spot. Push button, we got a 12-speaker Sony stereo in here. Got the big touch screen, of course. You can add your phone, you got your Bluetooth hookup. A lot of the controls have migrated to the touch interface. Now, overall, I think this thing is outfitted very well with the technology features that I'd be looking for in a vehicle. So there you have it. We came, we saw, I unboxed the new 2015 Ford Fusion. Thank you very much for watching. Now I'm gonna figure out how I can take this baby out of here.
Mr. Gray, I just have a couple of questions. To what do you owe your success?
There's some people who say that I don't have a heart.
Why would they say that?
Because they know me well.
Why do I get the feeling that that is not true?
You have to admit he's ridiculously hot.
If you are attracted to that sort of human,
The hot type of human?
I had a rough start in life. I don't do romance.
Could do what no one else can.
Welcome to my world. Mother, Anastasia Steele.
You have no idea how delighted I am to meet you.
You said you didn't do romance.
I don't. What are you doing to me? Where have you been?
Waiting.
Rated R.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Welcome back, everybody. It's What the F Wednesday. I am V. Wright.
And I'm Jose Estevez. Welcome back to the show, folks. The Whiskey Tango Foxtrot radio show coming to you live Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. If you'd like to call into the show, like the caller in the last hour, 313-462-0068, will get you on the air live with us for this special edition that we do every Wednesday. We call it lovingly What the F Wednesday. Hey, speaking of what the F, Sunday in Chicago, at his annual Savior's Day speech, Nation of Islam leader Calypso Louis Farrakhan attacked former New York City Mayor Rudolph Giuliani for his controversial comments saying that Obama doesn't love America, which, duh, he doesn't. So here we go, Calypso Louis in his own words. How did you grow up, Giuliani? A privileged cracker? Or should I say a privileged devil? You grew up on the sweat and the blood of black men and women who made America before your fathers got here. All of you Europeans, you recent immigrants that have found a home in America, and you are so happy. But you're walking on our blood. Our blood soaks the soil of America. How did I do there, V?
I think you did very well. I think you did very well. But I did not know Louis, our brother Louis, was a Native American.
What a Muslim moron he is. Moron.
You know, when Hussein says that this country was founded by Muslims, he must have been getting his education from Sir Louis.
Sir Louis. Calypso Louis. Don't refer to him as Sir or anything. What a jerk. Good. And I tried to do it the way he said it, too, because I heard the clip. And he said, I don't know how many syllables there are in Giuliani, but he said, Giuliani. I mean, you know, he's such a bombastic, pompous ass. I mean, he is. All right, that's enough. We're not giving him any more anything. Move on to the next story. On
I got one for you. Hey,
do it.
What the F? Somehow in this economy, the rich are getting richer. And it's been proven in the high-end real estate market, $5 million or more dollars, and the hyper-luxury car business, you know, the $500,000 plus. Guys, that business is booming. It is outpacing normal, everyday, ordinary purchases on both automobiles and the housing industry. Even Ford says it's unprecedented since Ford started selling vehicles to only those who were wealthy enough to purchase cars in the very beginning. Unbelievable. But, you know, in the meantime, and with this, you know, we keep telling you guys that there's a correlation between all of this immigrant crap and how it's good. It's not good for you and I, but it is good for those who are in an industry where they need cheap labor.
Well, of course.
And I'm not saying,
it's all about.
And unfortunately, in saying that, I understand. I happen to be one of those people who understand very clearly that you don't raise the minimum wage, because when you do, that gallon of milk, that gallon of gas, that loaf of bread, that package of hot dogs, that box of cereal, that jar of peanut butter, all of that goes up too, because somehow or another it has to be paid for.
That's a good point. All right, folks, we live in the greatest country in the world. I don't care what anybody says, warts and all. United States of America, greatest country in the world. I don't want to live anywhere else. I have lived overseas. Okay, I'm going to tell you what, folks, what the F indeed. It's going to blow your mind. We've talked about it before, but it bears repeating, and it's a new story. Illegal immigrant invaders who are able to obtain Social Security numbers, and we just talked that many, many more of them are going to be able to do so, could claim tens of thousands of dollars in back tax benefits. Yeah, in back tax benefits. Listen to this. They could accrue money from 2011 to 2014, even if they weren't here, or if they were here and not paying any taxes. They could be getting up to $35,000 from the IRS. This is absolute insanity.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you.
In their first year.
What the F? You want to know how they're doing it? They can go back and claim back 3 years.
Right.
How can you prove you're here for 3 years? Because you've got the Mexican president down there who has opened an office that is serving 24/7 documentation for illegal invaders here to prove that they've been here for that amount of time.
This is just the most amazing. Folks, how much more can they take from the pocket of the working man that we already know? Approximately 40% of the people in the country are carrying their other 60% on the cart. The other 60% are contributing absolutely nothing financially towards the country. How much longer can the 40% continue to bear the burden of the 60%? And I'm guaranteeing you, folks, as sure as I sit here talking to you, wherever you are in the world, it's going to get worse. All these people coming in, they're not all going to be contributing all of a sudden, and that the 40% that number will start increasing. That's not going to happen.
I heard somebody say, I heard somebody say the other day that it's not really a big deal if we give them money because it gets recycled in our economy. That is crap, people. You can't recycle it in our economy when they ship 75% of whatever they get to another country, to their families or whatever. You're sustaining that economy, not ours.
Yeah, it's absolutely it's so. I can't believe it, folks. When I read these stories, I cannot believe that this is happening in this country. They can claim back 2011 through 2014 get up to $35,000 for not having contributed anything. What a great country this is, isn't it? And we're letting these people do this. We're letting these federal agencies screw us and screw us and screw us over and over and over.
And if there was something that both Democrats and supposed Republicans in D.C. wanted to get on board with, that should be one. That should be an easy draft. If you came here illegally, fine, whatever. We're not going to deal with whether or not you should even be here. But we are going to make it clear that you are not allowed to claim taxes when you weren't here or when you weren't supposed to be here. Yeah. When you were not authorized to be here, let me tell you, you go to prison, you still pay a fine. You don't get a bonus check. What the F?
All right, folks, this is another one. And since we're kind of talking about taxes in the IRS, Lois Lerner, is she still in jail yet? Or is she in jail yet, Trey Gowdy? I thought you were going to go after her. Was it you? Oh, yeah, maybe not. Okay, well, evidently she's good now. Boy, folks, Lois Lerner, who is still free, she targeted American citizens like you and I. The only thing we had different from this despicable witch was that we were conservatives. They were conservatives that she targeted. She used her federal power, being in charge of where she was in charge of the IRS. She used her power to go after American citizens that simply have different thought processes than she do about thought processes about how things should be. Folks, listen to this. She received $129,300 in bonuses between 2010 and 2013 while she was attacking with, and don't tell me it was not without the full knowledge and support and pushing from the executive branch, from Obama right on down. She was receiving bonuses, 25% retention bonuses averaging $43,000 a year on top of her regular salary, folks. This is how they are rewarded. Once again, using our money. They are using our money. In November 2012, the IRS informed her that a retention bonus was suspended because her total estimated earnings for the calendar year exceeded the limit for federal employees, which at that time for her was $230,000. Wow.
Well, that was a retention bonus.
Money, folks, she is attacking American citizens. She's using the IRS to attack American citizens.
Well, the interesting thing about that is that was a retention bonus. That's so that you don't leave because we don't have anybody more qualified than you. Your second in command could not do your job. That is what that's typically for. Let me tell you something. We don't want you to go to the private sector. We should not be giving bonuses, period. How many of you guys out there have gone without a bonus? When's the last time you got a bonus? And if it was it thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars? No, it was not. Our government has no business handing out bonuses, period.
None. Yep. And they're saying the reason for it, V. So actually, I'm going to disagree with what you said, and I understand what you're saying. They could go back into the private sector is what they'll say. But she was actually eligible for retirement. So I'm going to tell you exactly what those retention bonuses were for her. That was for a job well done.
You doggone right it was.
That's exactly what that was, folks. $43,000 a year on top of her $200,000 salary for attacking conservatives. She ought to be dragged out and tarred and feathered as well and put in prison. And where's Trey Gowdy, Mr. Big Mouth? Another attorney. Imagine that, huh? An attorney who has big mouth and doesn't do anything. Right.
Well, sensing a Republican retreat on all things, on everything, on every single issue, from the Department of Homeland Security budget that's coming up because Mitch McConnell says, it looks like we're probably going to have to fund it, and that vote is Friday, to the FCC, to the stoppage by a federal judge of the Illegal Invaders Citizens Act, in all honesty, to everything. Sensing a Republican retreat, Obama is heading to Miami. He went to Miami today. Of course, while he's there, he's enlisting his Latino base of support to increase pressure on GOP lawmakers who want to stop the spending on Homeland Security and to repeal his immigration executive orders. I don't want to repeal anything. I want him strung up. That is what I want to see. I want to see him brought up on charges of treason because every step that he has taken has been treasonous. And Trey Gowdy today making a big announcement about hearings of whether or not his actions were unconstitutional. We all know they're unconstitutional.
Talk. That's all he can do, just like most attorneys. Talk. They can't do another thing. Must be there's nothing in it for him, otherwise maybe he'd do something. That's what I'm thinking.
And while we're talking about WTFs, the Health and Human Services Office, that great department there, that is making sure that those invaders are well cared for. Guess what? At the American taxpayer expense, we're going to make sure that those invaders get abortions if they want them. Can't refuse them. What the F? I thought we had a law in this country that said the federal government could not promote or pay for an abortion. Didn't we just do that not too long ago?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
See,
we're
I'm
still
telling you
funding
what.
Planned Parenthood, and now we're telling HHS, take all those little illegal girls that came over here and got knocked up. Now they're claiming that they got raped and everything else while they're in the care of these homes that they put them in. Sounds like you guys made a big mistake, but I don't think that the American public should have to pay for it.
I agree with that.
Ship them
But we're paying
back.
for everything anyway, so I mean, what's one more thing?
them
It's just what's another little, little more burden on the taxpayer? Not a big deal.
Ship them back. You know, everybody sits here and says, "Oh, well, the cost. It's the cost of keeping them is minimal. It's going to be good for the economy and this, that, and the other." Let me tell you, if you take military planes and you load them up with illegals, it costs less than $200 a piece to ship them back to wherever they came from. $200 a piece. Do you think that you've already spent? Well, we already told you. We spent what, $80,000 per illegal invader that was housed for 4 months in the summer.
Right. Yeah. That was just over the summer. We went into detail on that story several times. All that money, folks. You can't even imagine it. Can't even imagine it, and it just becomes more and more and more. Hey, I want to give a shout out, V, real quick. I think we need to do this because last night, after a lot of us actually had gone to bed, a jury in the state of Texas did the right thing in the murder, and let's face it, it was a flat-out murder of Chris Kyle, and there was another military guy, and I apologize, I cannot remember his name right off the top of my head.
Chad, what was Chad's last name?
Littlefield? Chad Littlefield.
Mm-hmm.
The jury came back and found that Eddie Ray Routh, scum of the earth, was guilty. And I guess there was some sort of reason that they didn't do the death penalty, because, of course, we know Texas definitely has that. But he will get life in prison. And I'm telling you what, Eddie Ray Routh, I hope your last hours on earth are going to be miserable and full of pain and suffering, because I have a feeling what they did to Dahmer is going to be minor compared to what you're going to get in the Texas Department of Corrections from those guys that are in there after you murdering an American hero like Chris Kyle and then the other gentleman, Chad Littlefield. So enjoy what time you have left on earth, and I hope you've made your peace with God, because I just don't think you're going to make life in prison. And good riddance to bad rubbish. That's all I got to say about that.
Unreal.
Thankfully,
Absolutely.
the jury came back, and boy, it was quick too. They didn't waste much time figuring out that he was in full control of his faculties and knew exactly what he was doing, and that was an assassination, if not a flat-out murder. So there you go, done. Moving along.
I'm glad to see that that there was some justice there. I am glad to see that his false claim of PTSD did not work.
Yeah. You know what, we know. And we've had a lot of them on this show since its inception. We know that PTSD is a very real thing. But we also know that we've talked about my own dad from Korea had PTSD and had trouble sleeping every night of his life. We found that out on this show. I didn't know that. Did he ever go out and kill anybody? How many hundreds of thousands of military people have some sort of PTSD and don't go out and kill anybody? So I don't want to hear it. So I'm glad the jury did the right thing. And unfortunately, they couldn't get the death penalty in the case for whatever reason. I think because it's the meds he was on or something like that. It wasn't a possibility. But at least he's going to the Texas Department of Corrections. And I don't think a guy like that's going to last real long. I think that's just like a child murderer, a child rapist and stuff like that. I just don't think, unless he's in solitary confinement, that he might make it long in the prison system. And like I said, good riddance. Bury him out behind the prison.
One of the things that we're not bringing to light is he's claiming this PTSD, but he never saw combat. Mm-hmm. How can right. I mean, I'm sorry, if life is so stressful that you break under living it, then you have an issue, and it's not PTSD. Mm-hmm. You need to be in one of them little Democrat bubbles, where no one can speak to you. I mean, seriously, the world has gone crazy. The world has gone crazy. People have gone crazy. Everybody wants somebody to take care of them. Nobody wants to assume responsibility. Everybody has an excuse. Oh, I was black. Oh, I was poor. Oh, my parents didn't love me enough. Oh, my mom slapped me one time. I was put in the corner my whole life. Whatever. I had to wear regular shoes. I never owned a pair of Air Jordans. Oh my God.
Goodness.
You know.
Did you have a Swatch watch? Did your mom not give you a Swatch watch either?
No, I didn't get a Swatch watch. Oh my goodness. You've got people out there saying, oh, I was persecuted because I got an EBT card. Buddy, you're lucky you didn't starve to death. Shut up.
Hey, there you go. Hey, AV, here's another WTF for you. And this is totally off of the politics thing, but this is something that I know all of you listeners are going to gasp and say you cannot even imagine this. There's an Australian study done that shows that anger increases the risk of a heart attack.
Oh God, I'm going to die tomorrow. I'm going to die tomorrow.
A study from Australia shows intense feelings of anger can trigger a heart attack. In other news, another study shows that ice cream is cold, and Barack Obama is a communist and doesn't love his country. Oh my goodness! These studies? Are you serious? People, how long did this take? It doesn't really say. Oh my goodness! I can't believe this. Shows 11. Yeah. Oh, whatever. I mean, really, this is a study that they couldn't have figured out without doing a study. I mean, common sense, maybe something like that. So, anything else that we don't need to have a study on? Like I said, we already know that Obama's a communist, maybe a Muslim, and doesn't love America, so we don't need a study on him. Ice cream is cold. Well, if it's not, of course, it's not really ice cream, I guess. Or is it really ice cream if it's warm and it's melted? V, would it still be ice cream?
Good question.
We could really go down the rabbit hole on this one, but anyway.
Good question. But I mean, if that's the case, I am at potential of being gone tomorrow. No,
maybe before the show's over.
I am an angry woman. I am the. You've heard about the angry black man. I am the angry white woman.
Yeah, well, you're not alone. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, but most people aren't as vocal as I am about it. Guys, y'all think I'm just like this on air? Trust me, I am like this all the time.
Yeah, it's not just it's not a persona on air.
I have got to find friends who make me laugh, and I really do. I seek out people who make me laugh, so I'm not angry all the time.
Well, and let's do another. We're running up on the break, but we want to do some funny things. Let's do it. Let's do a story about some Coranimals and the religion of peace, and how the
religion of pieces.
The religion of pieces. Yeah. Okay. So now there's a death sentence in Saudi Arabia. A man's got the death penalty. Guess what he did? Because he ripped up a copy of the Quran and hit it with a shoe. So now he's being sentenced to death for apostasy in Saudi Arabia. Wow, they are really understanding people, aren't they? Yep.
Well, you know what I heard. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I heard that Muhammad was an unusual child. I heard he would be seen wandering the hills at night, talking out loud alone. He'd catch and behead small animals and build fires, tossing their little headless bodies in them. And all the while that he would be giggling and touching himself and all of that. I'm just saying, in the United States, we classify people like that act that way as a young child as potential serial killers. I mean, we know that the likes of Dahmer and Gein and Gacy and Bundy did stuff like this. Anybody else seeing that correlation here?
No. That simply must be a coincidence, V. It says, there's actually a video of it, so I guess they've got him dead to rights. Dead. Oh, God, that's not the right word to use. In the video, he cursed God, Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, and his daughter Fatima, and ripped a copy of the Holy Quran and hit it with a shoe. The Saudi Gazette quoted an official as saying, the death sentence was issued after his apostasy was proved. And the death penalty is a standard penalty for apostasy in the Muslim world, although it is rarely carried out, even in Saudi Arabia, which still carries out regular executions. The man, in this case, does have the right to appeal, and he can also avoid the penalty by repenting of his sin.
Yeah.
Oh, you crazy cranimals. You little whatever. Okay.
Guys, we've got to take a break. Somebody's got to pay these bills around here. We'll be back in a few moments.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
How are things with the new guy?
All we do is go out to dinner.
That's it?
I mean, he picks up the tab every time, which is great.
Why? He's using you. He probably has a city thank you card and he gets 2 times the points at restaurants.
So he's just racking up points with me.
Some people.
Ugh.
No, I got it.
The City Thank You Preferred Card. Now earn 2 times the points on dining out and entertainment with no annual fee. To apply, go to city.com/thankyoucards.
The most amazing thing about the Ford Fusion isn't the way it looks. The most amazing thing is the way it sees. With blind spot technology, a lane keeping system, and a standard rear view camera, the Fusion is ready for whatever comes your way. Go prepared. Go further.
The most important thing in life will always be family. The people right here, right now.
Dominic Toretto. You don't know me. You're about to.
Looks like the sins of London have followed us home.
Remember Owen Shaw? This is his big bad brother.
We're being hunted.
I'm going with you.
One last ride.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
This takes crazy to a whole nother level.
What's up now? What's up now? Hold it down like what's up now?
Mr. Gray, I just have a couple of questions. To what do you owe your success?
There's some people who say that I don't have a heart
Why would they say that?
because they know me well.
Why do I get the feeling that that is not true?
You have to admit he's ridiculously hot.
If you are attracted to that sort of human,
The hot type of human?
I had a rough start in life. I don't do romance.
Could do what no one else can.
Welcome to my world. Mother, Anastasia Steele.
You have no idea how delighted I am to meet you.
You said you didn't do romance.
I don't. What are you doing to me? Where have you been?
Waiting.
Oh, no.
Rated R. Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Welcome back, everybody. It's What the F Wednesday here, and I am V. Wright.
And I am allegedly Jose Estevez. Welcome back to the show, folks. It's Wednesday. What the F Wednesday. Folks, let's talk for a moment about one of the dumbest people in the world right now. I mean, I don't think anybody would dispute that. Vice President Joe Biden, Plugs Biden, whatever you want to call him, Biden, and if you didn't know, folks, I think it was last week in his speech, he shouted out to somebody in the audience, and he said, "Hey, to my old butt buddy." Just goes to prove, folks, that if you have a PhD, you're not necessarily, doesn't mean you're the smartest person in the room, much less anywhere at that point. And he does have a PhD, so that tells you what the worth of that is in many cases. Okay, so Vice President Joe Biden used a Black History Month event, and my God, Black History Month is almost over, V.
Yay! I can take 2 friends to the movies.
I had the vapors earlier today because it feels like it just goes by so quickly, and I don't get near enough out of it like I should. I'm just teasing. I could care less. Vice President Joe Biden used a Black History Month event at his official residence Monday night to decry the rich, both white and black, for stunting economic growth and suggested that, his words, emancipation is in order. Now listen in his words, folks, what this moron said. He's the Vice President of the United States, by the way. A lot of wealthy white and black people aren't bad, but they control 1% of the economy, and this cannot stand. Then he goes on explaining the impact of Civil War era emancipation. He concludes, what happened is not only did we move forward freeing black Americans, but also freed the conscience of white Americans. He goes on to say, we have a chance right now and in the next 2 years to make a fundamental change in that equation. I don't like it, folks, when one of these politicians in this regime says fundamental transformation or fundamental change. You ought to be afraid right now. I'm going to repeat. He said, we have a chance right now and in the next 2 years to make a fundamental change in that equation. We have come from crisis to recovery, and we're in a position for a renaissance. And folks, once again, he is saying that a lot of wealthy white and black people aren't bad, but control 1% of the economy, and this cannot stand. And then he talks about fundamental change of that. Folks, grab your ankles because communism's coming. They got a little under 2 years to achieve it in ways that we've never imagined. And folks, I think he's telegraphing exactly what's coming. And anytime, like I said, I hate to repeat myself, but anytime they say fundamental change or transformation in this regime, you better have your ears perked up and be paying attention because they've got plans.
Senor.
See?
Do you think that he was talking about Oprah?
Oh, he couldn't be talking about Harpo.
Okay, was he talking about Jay-Z?
Jay-Z, yeah.
Could he
50 Cent?
50 Cent? Could he be talking about P. Diddy and Get Out the Vote?
P. Diddy. Oh, no, those are all the good black people that are rich, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't think
maybe he's talking about, what's the football player that dagged his wife in the elevator?
I don't know because I could care less about football players or sports. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. But of course, they're all good people. You know, they're hardworking. I mean, those football players and basketball players and stuff, and they do so much good with all their money.
So they don't have to be emancipated from their cash.
Right. They're going to have to pick and choose, of course. You know who does and who doesn't. So.
Well, of course, the Clintons, they don't have to get emancipated from theirs. Soros doesn't need to be emancipated from his. Buffett doesn't need...
Yeah, I was just going to say Warren Buffett, of course. He's a big supporter of the regime, so he'll be safe.
Yeah, Bill Gates doesn't need to be emancipated from his.
No, because he's on their side, so he's good. The Koch brothers, though. Now, those devils.
Evil. Yes, it.
In the words of Calypso Louie, those white cracker devils, they need to be emancipated from their money because they're using it to help conservatives. So I wonder if Lois Lerner needs to
be emancipated from her bonus checks.
I think she needs to be emancipated from something, but I'm not going to say it on the air.
Well, I'm saying freedoms, but okay.
I'll go with freedoms. That's a good word for it. I was going to say she needs to be emancipated from her blank, like the old Match Game show with Gene Rayburn. But we'll substitute freedom, or we'll put freedoms in for blank there.
Okay, there you go. Hey, I got something for you. Al Sharpton is calling for the lowering of standards for federal hate crimes. What the F?
What, he needs to drum up more business?
I'm figuring that he is pretty confident that his relationship with the communist in charge is safe.
You think? He's been to the White House how many times? Hell, he's probably been to the White House more than the president has, as much golf as he plays.
Well,
Seriously.
hey, wait a minute. That really makes you think. You reckon Reggie's cheating on Hussein with the Reverend Al?
I don't know, but Al's starting to look like a human bobblehead. I mean, he looks sick. He looks. I'm not even making fun here. I'm serious, folks. Look at a picture of Al recently. He looks sick. His head's all big and. Oh yeah.
Do you reckon he got the Ebola or the measles or whatever else pandemic passed on to him?
Well, I mean, anything's possible, I guess.
Hey guys, I got another one for you. The regime has come forward and stated that approximately 800,000 of the erroneous OCare applications do not need to be resubmitted. What the F? You know they're wrong, but we're not going to fix them this time, because then we'd have to change something. And the only thing we want to change right now is America.
Fundamental transformation, baby.
What
You're on an
the
airplane
F?
going down, folks. Bend over, grab your ankles, kiss your rear ends goodbye, because this is it.
Hey, senor.
The good ship, United States of America, it's a going down, and it's going down fast.
Like the frickin' Titanic.
The Republicans are at the controls on the right-hand side. The Democrats are on the left-hand side, and they're both pushing that whatever that steering wheel is on an airplane. They're pushing it into a steep dive. Baby.
Wait a minute. I disagree with you there. I say the Democrats are at the helm of the ship, and Republicans are in the submarine firing the torpedoes.
Well, all right. That's another, however you want to say it. I mean,
Good gracious.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what I do see in our federal government. Folks, I have gone beyond, within the last 48 hours, I have gone from someone who thought if we applied enough pressure, maybe they would listen, to a full, complete comprehension that they don't care and nothing can be changed at the federal level. If you want something changed, you go to your state legislator, you demand one of two things. Either you take back by Article 5 complete control of our state, or we secede. Period.
I don't want to get real serious and ruin the flow of what the F since we finally got on topic here, but I'm just going to throw this out. You don't even have to answer it. I want the listeners to think too. And am I nuts here or not? I'm wondering if that can even be done, because here's what I see. The federal government's tentacles over the last many, many decades are in so much relating to the states, Medicare, Medicaid, so health care. Now, especially with Obamacare, I'm going to talk about education, public schools. Look at how much money they get from the feds in grants and all these different things for all their different programs, which are now basically almost cradle to grave, because we want to make sure these kids stay as dumb as they can and never really are able to break into and understand what freedom is. Let's look at the roads. So let's look at transportation, roads, all of those things that are related. Look at how much is, they get matching federal grants to pay for local roads and stuff like that. And on and on and on. Folks, can it even be done? Or
yes,
has it been set up successfully so that the states can, even if they try, even if they get uppity, that they can never really break free from the feds because they could not survive without the federal teat? I'm wondering, and I think it's a very legitimate question to ask.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could. Yes, we could, but we're not going to continue that conversation tonight.
Right.
Maybe we'll have it out.
Right.
Maybe that's something everybody think about. Give us a call tomorrow night and tell us what you think. That would be a good topic for tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Senor.
Yes.
What the F? Those moderate Muslims? All those moderate Muslims?
Which what? Who? I never met a moderate Muslim. I've heard of them, but I've never met one.
That religion of pieces. Is so calm and everything. Well, did you know a recent poll was done in which 9 out of 10 Muslims think that the Hebdo attack was warranted and justified? 9 out of 10.
Wow.
9 out of 10. So only 1 in 10 might be some of them so-called elusive, must be really sought for moderate Muslims.
But I thought we were made to believe that many, many more Muslims are moderate Muslims.
Well, I'm just telling you what the poll results are.
Well,
9 out of 10.
I think you and I both know what the story is, and I think most of our listeners do too.
Oh,
I think most of our listeners know exactly what the story is when it comes to so-called moderate Muslims.
What
Yeah.
the F?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What the F indeed.
Yeah, we got us some moderate Muslims. Only 9 out of 10 of them want to kill you. God. Oh, my God. The insanity
and how many have we let into the United States? We talked about that last night. 300,000 just in the last couple of years. More than all of them coming from Mexico and points south of Mexico, folks. More Muslims have been brought into the United States. Wonder what that reason is, huh?
What is it going to take to get people to move? I mean, are we going to have to live like Germany did for 50 plus years under the political regime of dictatorship and tyranny, without weaponry, without an ability? While they continue to advance technologically, you're going to be wielding, we can't even wield with machetes because by then that'll be outlawed. What, your sporks? You're going to wield your sporks against the technologically advanced military action of a tyrannical regime. Seriously, folks? And y'all don't see where this is pertinent to act on now? And I'm not trying to get real serious on What the F Wednesday, but I'm finding it very, very difficult to find the comedy in it anymore. That's how serious it is. It's scary. It really is. I mean, yeah, what the F indeed. You got Susan Rice, another regime mouthpiece. I believe the senor calls her the Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin doll. You
Yeah.
just put a little tape in her. Well, now it'd be like a hooker up to a USB, and that woman will say anything whatsoever, just much like Marie Harf and Jen Psaki from the State Department. Well, I think one of them is actually going to be the head of communications for the White House. I mean, you simply can't make this stuff up. These people lie as easily as they tell the truth. You can't ever tell.
Interesting choice of words you use there, hooker up.
Well, I mean, if they get paid for it and stuff, then maybe they're, at least the hooker admits what she's doing, and you know exactly what she stands for. So I have to give them a little bit more respect than I have to give Marie Harf, Jen Psaki, and the human Teddy Ruxpin doll, Susan Rice.
Well, Susan Rice calls Netanyahu's Capitol Hill speech destructive to U.S.-Israel relations. How much worse can it get? We have those in this administration who are supporting the Libyans calling themselves Palestinians that invaded the borders of Israel, and that's who we're supporting over Israel. How much more destructive? We're giving Iran nukes, but that's not destructive to Israel. Shut up, witch. Shut up.
V, don't forget, she is one of the ones, along with Mullah Obama himself and Hillary Clinton, who went out and lied for days and days and said that the Benghazi thing was all about a video when they knew doggone well instantly as it was happening that it wasn't. And they went out and lied to the American people. They lied to the families of the slain people. And we still have not got any justice, despite the fact that Trey Gowdy and all these others said, we're going to bring them to justice. It ain't never happening, folks. They're all the same. But seriously, that's what kind of... These people don't have... I don't know if they have a soul. I mean, I hate to even suggest that, but how can you lie to people's faces when you know the truth and you go out and you're just not talking to one person, which wouldn't make it any better. You're talking to an entire country, indeed the entire world, through the miracle of modern television and stuff like that, and you're lying through your teeth about something. I mean, seriously, do they have no shame? What is wrong with these people? It's hard to believe.
Well, I mean, and then it's being sold by celebrities in general. I mean, a classic example here is Judd Apatow, I think is how you pronounce this.
Judd Apatow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Norm Macdonald from SNL are going to be having an evening with Judd Apatow and friends for the benefit of the Brady Center to prevent gun gun violence. Now, he goes, Apatow goes on, and responsible gun laws are essential and referred to the Brady Center as the great force of good on the issue. It's shocking that even after the mass shootings that have happened, that there isn't more being done to make our country safer. What mass shootings? What mass shootings?
Yeah.
Oh, are we talking about Sandy Hook? The one that has gotten every news outlet in this country being sued, along with the regime for putting out a false narrative, along with the entire city and all of the emergency services in Sandy Hook?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he goes on to say, but most Americans want gun control, the passage of which is being blocked by that evil gun lobby. I got news for you. The evil gun lobby, when they're talking about the evil gun lobby, they're talking about the NRA, and I'm sorry. I have a membership with the NRA. It's a lifetime membership, and I wish I didn't. I wish I would have gone an annual, because I would not have renewed it. They are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
No, they're not. They've really weakened. They've really gone soft and weakened on so many things that they could come out take a very hard line against.
It is despicable that they are not standing up and doing more. And I understand that with dues and everything else, that they got almost a little over $96 million this past year. What are they doing with it?
Yeah.
What are they doing with it? If they're lobbying with it, that's a mistake, because it's not working.
Hey, V, since we've been on the air, I just want to share with you and the folks as we're wrapping up the show. An hour ago, the propaganda wing of the regime sent out a message on Facebook. Listen to these scumbags. They said, here's what they said: it's time for Republicans in Congress to stop playing politics with our national security. #fund DHS. Here's what they say: if Republicans in Congress shut down funding for our homeland security, 30,000 employees dedicated to keeping us safe and fondling us in airports would be furloughed. Many Secret Service and Border Patrol agents would not receive paychecks. Well, hell, you don't let them do their jobs, and the Secret Service out getting whores and letting people jump over the fence. So maybe that would be just a natural consequence. And then they say, but Republicans in Congress would still get paid. One of our listeners also posted under that and said Democrats in Congress and you folks in the regime would be getting paid too, which of course they neglect to mention. This is what scumbags they are. They say 30,000 people in DHS dedicated to keeping us safe would be furloughed. You know what, folks? I say let's do this. Let's do 2 weeks, let's do 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. With 30,000 less people in the federal government, and you tell me how many more attacks we'll have, because so far they have not prevented nor stopped one single attack since their inception. Nothing whatsoever. How much money would we save in a year if 30,000 less employees in the federal, and how much faster would you get to the airports if you weren't getting fondled and little old ladies in wheelchairs and infants weren't getting strip searched and stuff like that, instead of the people that can walk right straight through in the burqa? Because God forbid you'd take one look at them, you racist suckers.
Now, guys, I want to bring up something real quick. DHS has a budget for this year of, let's see, $60.9 billion is what they want for an organization that was supposed to only be a communication hub. They were not supposed to be a law enforcement hub. They were supposed to make that transition and connection and provide communication between the CIA and the FBI, because there was the claim that there was a breakdown in communication before 9/11. Okay, but I'm going to take this into account. This budget has nothing to do with your local law enforcement, your state law enforcement. It does not account for the $8.3 billion for the FBI this year. It does not account for the $17.4 billion budget for military intelligence programs. It does not account for the $27.4 billion for the Department of Justice this year. It does not account for the $53.9 billion budget for the CIA, NSA. The black budget is what they call it. Black projects, and other NIPs, which are National Intelligence Programs. It includes none of that. Tell me, how are we going to suffer so greatly without the Department of Homeland Security? What, we're going to stop Border Patrol from doing their job? They aren't doing anything anyway. You won't let them.
Yeah, you won't let them. Actually, there's been threats that if they go against amnesty, that there will be severe consequences coming right from the president himself, coming right down. Here's one of our listeners. 400 plus TSA agents have been arrested for theft. Not one terrorist has been caught. Wow, folks. Facts don't lie, folks. That's why liberals can't stand them, because facts don't lie and they can't deal with the truth.
It is crazy. And here, we've got all this budgeting for CIA. We've got all this budgeting for the military intelligence. We've got all this budgeting for the FBI. Please tell me why we need an NSA. Please tell me why we have Department of Homeland Security. Please tell me why we are paying a congressional DC to not do their job so that someone else can write laws from a committee like the EPA or the FCC. Who is doing their damn job?
Well, they're doing their job. They're watching the terrorists, the United States citizens that are conservatives. We are the terrorists. Folks, that's all I've got to say about that on this show.
Guys, we've come to the end of our show. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. We surely have. Please make sure to remember that we are here Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern live. Stick around for DJ Stallion. Good night, folks. We'll see you again tomorrow night.
God bless America. Take care.